Paul, I'm going to put you under the gun because we need to talk about McClure Road because I know we have some folks here from that area and they would like to hear from us, if you would, sir.
Public Works is in the process of connecting a storm sewer that came down from Mountain View Drive, sits above McClure Road. There's a storm sewer that came over the hill, was not connected, and creates a problem on McClure Road. They're in the process of connecting that pipe this week.
So they're actually preparing McClure Road for
Yes, and next week the contractor will be in.
They gave you their word they would start when, Monday?
Well, they said they would be in next week. I mean, it's a contract with them. I mean,
But they only have until September 30th, am I correct, to get this completed by contract?
I
Tim?
thought it was September 30th.
no, I believe it's later than that.
Oh, was it later than that?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was.
I don't know the exact date, but it's later than that.
Okay. Hopefully for you folks here, stay in contact with Ron and myself. Obviously, I know you're frustrated. We are as well, because, I don't like people being upset. We can only do what we can do. We do have a contract. They can apparently have a time frame. As long as it gets done within that time frame.
Well, I
there's
can
a whole lot
dovetail
we
onto
can do.
something else when we're talking about it. When Tresco Paving is in town, they're going to do some repairs that the Mineral Municipal Authority replaced water lines, and a lot of them are in Alpine Village Drive, somewhere over on Woodhaven. So at the same time, when they're fixing McClure, they're going to fix the roads that the municipal authority had excavated for the water line. So those of you that got phone calls, I'm sure, Mr. Johns, you got them about Cabot Road.
Yes, I did.
There were some over in Franklin Heights, some in Woodhaven. Those will be repaired also.
And obviously, I heard from some McClure folks, and so did Ron. And so and again, that's been on the agenda for a while, so I think they deserve to hear what's really going on that. And you know what? I'm going to really break ranks. If any of you want to like to come up and maybe just say a few words, or you're okay with what you just heard. Yeah, come on. I'm breaking ranks, so. Please sign in.
I did.
Okay.
You want the sheet?
No, that's okay.
Yes, good evening. My name is Rick McGrath, and I live at 108 Wiltshire Circle. I've lived there for just over 30 years. Prior to that, I lived in University Park for 10 or 11 years, so I'm a 40-year-plus resident of Monroeville. I've had a business in Monroeville. I sold it a couple years ago, but for 30 years, I ran a business in Monroeville. I paid my taxes all that time, and it's a nice place to live most of the time. Anyhow, I have a lot of respect for all you councilmen as individuals. I admire you for taking the time out of your lives to come down here and sit here for a couple, 3 nights every month. I think it's very commendable. But as a group, let me just specify, communications is just a disaster. You talk to one councilman and you get one story. You talk to the manager, you get another story. You talk to the engineer, you get another story. It just doesn't seem to be any cohesion there at all, and I just can't understand why. Make one person the spokesperson for a particular situation.
Rich, can you give me specific examples so we can correct the problem?
Yes, sir. I was at the April 6th meeting, and I pled my case for both Wiltshire Circle and McClure Road. And I do want to thank you for doing Wiltshire Circle. There's a Band-Aid that's been put on it. It's in need of major surgery, but you put a Band-Aid on it. And after 10 years and I have emails going back to my conversations with Marshall Bond from 10 years ago. I'm not making that number up. It's a true story. I've been complaining about Wiltshire Circle and their converse cracks. And so I kind of hesitated before I wanted to thank you guys, but since you're the new councilman on the block, I figured you got it done. All the other councils didn't get it done. So thank you very much for helping us out there. I also addressed McClure Road, and this goes, again, back to April 6th.
I'm sorry, Rich, you were talking about poor communication. I'd like to get to that so we can correct the problem.
Okay.
I mean, were you leading up to that?
Was I leading up to?
You were mentioning, I was asking for specific
Yes.
examples.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
At the April 6th meeting, we brought up McClure Road, and Mr. Hughes, we brought it up and made a real problem out of it. I was back here on April 12th at that meeting, and after a long discussion, and the fact that we found out that we had received $180,000 from the Water Authority, and we're going to spend about $140,000 to repair the road. I'm thinking, you know what, the money's there, why isn't the work being done? And of course, Mr. Hughes, and I quote him, and I have a video of it that I pulled it off of, it says, "Work will be done early to mid-September." Now, this is, I'm sorry, early to mid-summer. This is September 13th. Cheryl Klanowski, my neighbor, stood up and put in a lot of criticism about the road and how it should be repaired. She's been dealing with yourself and Mr. Harvey and copies the mayor on it. And at the May 5th meeting, when I was here, we found out that the bids were received and awarded, I think, a couple days later for the $140,000. So we figured, okay, work's going to get done. Well, at the June 9th meeting, nothing was happening. And again, I quote Mr. Hughes, it says, "Work will be done before school starts." We, myself and the neighbors, were concerned that's a bus route. McClure Road, buses travel that. And Ms. Klanowski, her daughter was on the bus the other day, hit one of the potholes or one of the transverse cuts. These are not cracks. These are where the municipality cut across the road to put storm sewers in or whatever. Banged her head on the window because of the vibration of the bus. It's dangerous. And but anyhow, Mr. Hughes stated that it will be done before school starts. Well, it's September 13th. School started 2, in some cases 3 weeks ago. So, and now I'm hearing that there's work to be done next week, this week, by the municipality, and the contractor's coming the week after. Why should we believe that?
I understand. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Can I make,
Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
Somebody else made a statement that the work was going to start on, and this is just recently, on September 12th. This is the 13th. I heard noise up there today. I heard a big, some kind of, I don't know what was going on. But I walked up, and I was extremely disappointed because the noise was coming from someplace else.
I've been following this since we talked about it last year and got promised on dates, and there has been things that have delayed it, and I'm not going to go into the whole list, but I'll give you the latest one. To fix those storm sewers and those storm easements properly, they had to run that line down that you just told Mr. Hughes talk about from Mountain View. They had to intrude on personal property. They had to get letters of agreement from the people that owned the personal property to allow them to do it. The one lady is elderly.
Excuse me, is this just recently?
Yes. The one lady is elderly, so she wouldn't sign it. She sent it off to her son to read. And what I'm saying is, I guess, is that there's just things like that that keep causing delays. And I'm not saying it all did, but that's just one example. Now, from what I understand, that's been approved, correct?
It has. I mean, let's understand something, though. I mean, there's contract law. The municipality issues a notice to proceed to a contractor. They have X amount of days to finish the project. That date has not arrived yet. When it does, then the municipality has the right to take action. I have no right to tell a contractor they have to come in and start a certain week. I call them, we keep up the date, we try to pick an amicable date that they come in and start a project. But if they get pushed back because of weather, we've had some weather events this year that has pushed them back. I have no right to call a contractor and say, I need you to be in this date. They have a window of opportunity to finish a project. They tell me when they're going to come in. That date has not been here yet. When it does, then we'll have some legal discussion.
One other thing is, a month ago, I called Paul Hughes from my house, and I said, hey, if the McClure Road project's going to start, should we notify the bus company? He said, I am going to notify the bus company. 2 days later, he called me and said, the bus company said that's no problem. They do not use that route anyway. Just telling you what they said.
Can I speak to them?
I'm only telling you what they said.
They absolutely,
You know what?
it doesn't matter. We have our children riding on the bus, and my son said, I have an 8-year-old son.
Yeah, can you hang on?
Painful.
You need to sign in, but listen, what we'll do is we'll let Rich, and then,
Just saying-
then I'll get everybody up after we do our.
Just saying,
our
we
meeting.
notified the bus company, and they were supposed to take rerouting action.
Well, apparently communication is another factor. They are not taking a different route. They are taking it every day.
Can't, because all we can do is tell them.
Yeah, you'll have your opportunity to come up.
Okay. In response to Mr. Huges's last statement, At the June 9th meeting, I specifically asked him if the bids had a start and finish date. He specifically said yes. But then he says, but the municipality has work to do up there first. So he kind of blew over that. And he didn't tell me what the start and finish date was.
That's because I don't know what it was, because after.
Then there's no start and finish date.
There is a start and finish. Let me finish. The start date starts whenever the Public Works Department finishes preparation of the road. I cannot issue a legal notice to proceed on a project until it's ready for them to come in. If I give them a notice to proceed and they show up and our Public Works Department's working on the road, that's a lack of communications. So once they're done with their preparation, I issue a notice to proceed.
Well, I would have 5
Let's
suggestions.
go back to the line of Mr. McGrath, the line of communications. You and I have never spoken, you've never called me since that April meeting, so I don't know what the line of communications gap you think is between you and I.
Well, you know what, I've made specific references to specific dates that I was here and asked specific questions. I have it on my DVR at home, if you want to come
No,
over.
you said, did you try to call me or email me
I did
since that
not.
April date?
Concerning what?
The road. You said there's a communications gap. You never called me
No.
or emailed me.
No, you're correct, I never
Okay.
called you. I won't address you, I addressed my councilman.
Okay.
That's not my job to address you.
Well, you
I think.
you cited me in your
Well,
quote
and
there.
I also think Mr. Harvey should be given a lot of credit because he's been on this since last year.
This is, I've been on it for 10 years.
I know, but he's only been on council for so long, and he, last year, made reference to, let's make sure we allocate the money so the McClure Road would be done this year. It will be done this year. And, you know, Mr. Harvey made sure that this was probably the problem would be taken care of this year.
You know, I'm sorry, I made my point, and you know what, I shot a 92 yesterday, so that's why my mentality is.
Is that good or bad?
Same as-
Good or bad?
He did
Same
worse.
as Mr. Serafini.
But wait a while.
And he-
I apologize
No, no,
He's
no,
upset
listen,
too.
I want to
my
just say this.
frustration.
You know what, when you,
If I shot a 92, I'd be jumping up
I
and down.
encourage residents to always come. If you have an issue, and I know you talk to your councilman, and I'm sure all of you guys get calls, as well as myself. But if things don't go, we can only give you the information we get from our staff, who gets it from our contractors. And I know that's frustrating. Believe me, I didn't know it was 10 years until Ron got involved in that last year. I didn't realize you were dealing with that for 10 years. I'm being honest. I understand your frustration. Believe me, we want it done as much as you want it done, so you guys are not riding our backs, which you have every right to do and should do. The key being is, we're trying, we really are, and it's going to get done.
Mr. Hughes, can we make a phone call to the busing company, please, to find out why they're still riding on that road till it's done?
Well, they can ride on the road until it's done.
they should be slowing
The problem
down.
is that during the period of construction,
Yeah.
they're going to have
You
to
ladies will
reroute
get
the
your
buses.
cans.
But we don't, we're not in charge of the school buses, correct? Would that not be the
correct.
school district?
I mean, they have the right to reroute their buses if they want to.
Okay, so so maybe you want to contact the school board about
Well, no,
the
why
bus
don't
routes? We don't
why
set
don't
those.
we do that? Tim, can you just maybe talk to the superintendent over there and tell him exactly what's going on it?
So that they're not upset. I would be upset if
You
my
okay with
8-year-old
that?
was on the bus
Me?
and
Yeah,
and hit their head on the
Counsel, you
window. I
okay with that?
understand.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's do something as far as the
Again, I
busing.
really, I can only answer for all of them, and for especially Mr. Harvey. Trust me, he really wants to get it done. And I know you're frustrated, and you have every right to be, and you have every right to yell at us. I'm good with that.
I apologize.
We're trying.
You don't have
We're
to.
trying.
I know you're trying.
You don't have to, okay? And we'll get back to that. We'll open the floor up, but let us finish our reports. Paul, anything else? for
No, sir.
us? Well, thank you for your help on that
No
issue.
problem.